Feminists hate Zuckerberg. And ever since you went on that Joe Rogan podcast that I covered the last time, I was talking about him here on the Coffee Pod, I've seen a lot of takes pretty much calling him an incel, right? And talking shit about him. And they do not like the man right now. Now, there are a lot of you guys who view him as somebody who's just switching up because of the current political climate. We all have our opinions. I just think this conversation is kind of interesting, hilarious, but check this out. Here we have a woman who responds back to Mark Zuckerberg saying that the corporate world has been neutered and lacks masculine energy. They don't like that, especially the chicks in tech and those people who are proud of these tech companies and how they really push down diversity to the extent of ludicrousy.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
I think a lot of the corporate world is like pretty culturally neutered. The kind of masculine energy I think is good, but I think corporate culture was really like trying to get away from it. I think having a culture that like celebrates the aggression a bit more has its own merits that are really positive.
The last thing office culture needs is more men showing off their aggression and trying to be more masculine. I think he's been listening to too many of these red pill alpha male manosphere podcasts. He sounds like a real incel talking about masculine energy at work. We're not there to flirt. We're there to work. Look.
See, the problem with like women like this chick and why no one will really ever take her seriously, right, is because not only does she run the type of relationship, because I think she's like married or something like that, but this is the type of woman who believes that happy wife, happy life. I bet you, bro, probably wouldn't take me long to find the video on her page that promotes that happy wife, happy life is the way to go. She likes the fact that they're neutered men out here. She likes the fact that someone like Steve Harvey got on national television and said, she is the table. She can make another you. This is who we're dealing with here. And she doesn't even understand the definition of an incel, right? A person or a man in specific who's involuntarily celibate. They don't even understand the words that they use. You ask them to define incel. It's like, okay, now explain to me why someone who's a billionaire is an incel. You could call him, you can say he's like lame or square, but incel is by definition the wrong way to categorize the man, because the man's married. It doesn't make sense unless if you want to change the definitions of words, which is what a lot of these really liberal chicks love to do, right? Let's keep listening.
Look at him being in the group, but not a part of the group. Watch how many times he tries to reach out to be a part of it. And watch how many times they just straight ignore him. Look at this. Trying to reach for it. Look at, sir. He thinks getting rid of DEI and allowing men to verbally use women on his platforms is masculine? I don't care how many perms you get, how many boxy black tees you wear, and how many gold chains you buy. They will never think that you're one of them. The work environment has always been masculine energy. How many more Me Too movements do y'all need? How many more times do you have to be sued for passing women over for promotion to be a part of the good old boys club?
So again, she thinks there should be more Me Too movements. She actually looks back at the Me Too movement and it's like, wow, that was great. And how many more do you guys need to realize that we need a world where women are at the center and men are neglected, which is what's been happening for the past few years, which is the result of what you guys see around you. The more that this type of rhetoric continues, you only get the backlash of especially the young men. That's the reason the young Gen Z men tilted towards more conservative values. You can be mad about that all you want and be upset and be angry, but you created this environment and now you're living in the environment you created.
Like it's always been masculine energy. So fairness, inclusivity, and being welcoming at the job is now considered feminine energy? They're still not going to pick you, Mark. Bring back the masculine energy? It never left.
She's saying it never left. According to her, the everything that's been going so far has been a great example of masculine energy, right? Let's read a few of these comments probably going to be some delusion here, but let's keep going. This commentary says, he said all that while wearing my Aunt Diana's 80s perm on his head. Somebody else here says, once an incel, always an incel. He's another person who says he's desperate for approval. There's a part of me that looks at Mark Zuckerberg and definitely, you know, there's some side-eyeing going on there. I can't lie, because I've said that in the last response. But again, I had a jiu-jitsu instructor who commented down below. And being somebody who's actually practiced in Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu, not on a high level, but I have a lot of friends who own gyms and they train and they've trained me. I know you can't fake something like jiu-jitsu, right? And so I was asking, like, is this a result of him, as he said in that podcast, delving more into environments that are mostly male-dominated and they don't look at healthy aggression and friendly competition as toxic? And he's looking around, going to Facebook, thinking to himself, wow, this is really, really a soft environment I've created, and I think the censorship has gone too far. Was that an actual paradigm shift and did actually change his vantage point of how he viewed the world, or was he just scared of Donald Trump? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Somebody else here says he's desperate for approval. Another comment here says real masculinity doesn't have to be announced. And yeah, but what are you talking about? He never announced masculinity. Somebody else here says the lack of masculine energy is just professionalism. What? First of all, let's start with this. For modern women who are feminists, they want to qualify what's considered masculine energy. They don't want you to qualify it. As long as they get to say, that's toxic, that's masculine energy, they're cool, right? But if you don't possess it, they'll call you out for not possessing it. You can't win, which is why you have to pick your own set of values, healthy values, positive values that you will uphold as a man and stick to it. And stick to it. If you believe in it and you believe it's actually good, you fight for it and you stand for it shamelessly. Sometimes you got to choose to live your life. You got to be willing to die for something out here, regardless of what other people may actually tell you. People are toxic, right? There are men out here who are toxic and there are women out here who are toxic. But I don't think most men who want to embrace their masculinity are toxic just for wanting to do exactly that. An interesting story I'll tell you guys here. I have a friend who has a friend who actually works at Facebook. And I'll tell you a crazy story I heard about just how bad the censorship was over at Facebook. He had a situation where he made a comment during a meeting. It was like a Zoom meeting where he suggested that his team, which is mostly men, needed a bit more food, right? They needed more food because they provided them like meals and stuff like that. Because he's like, hey man, I've got some big dudes over here, and you know the way men eat, right? And he told that joke, like, you know how men eat a lot. And so they heard that, right, during the Zoom meeting, and then later they put him in sensitivity, like some type of verbiage training to help you learn how to speak better for Facebook, because you're somehow implying that men eat more than women, therefore saying that men are different from women. Like, this is real. This actually happened. So he had to take all these classes after making that statement. That's what was going on over there at Facebook. Isn't that shit wild? I want you guys to think about something. When you look around at young Gen Z men especially, and people are worried and asking why do they think this way, or why are they so hungry to embrace their masculinity and are no longer putting up with these feminist ideals that they're forced to consume. Maybe because it's videos like this video that was released just recently. Check it out.
There are thousands of reasons not to have children, but I'm going to give you my top one. I don't want a boy because no matter how I raise him, I know that society is going to get their hands on him and turn him into someone that I'm not proud of.
So she says there's a bunch of reasons to not have kids. But one of the reasons is she doesn't want a boy because she knows no matter how well she does as a mother, society will get a hold of him and turn him into somebody she's not proud of. So she doesn't want to have kids because she doesn't want to bring another boy into this society because she believes most boys in this society, most men are evil. Now, this video has over 600,000 likes, heading over to 1 million. The actual video itself has, let me check for you guys, 2.8 million views. These are people who like what she has to say and agree with her. Think about what that says about young men and how they view themselves and how they believe you view them. What I mean by that is a chick can literally get online and say, hey, here's a list of reasons why I hate men. But if I say, hey, find yourself a good feminine, nurturing woman and make sure that you guys build yourself a happy family, if that's what you want. Oh, you're toxic. Why are you looking for that? Shut up. It's just an insane world we live in. Let's check out a few of these comments. It says 1 in 3 really got me. Somebody else here says most real take. So these chicks actually believe in this. Is 1 day ago these comments were put on here. It's sad when people say, I want a boy first so that he can protect his sisters. He won't. So here they're like, he won't. Here's somebody else who says, the way my brother acts makes me so sad for my mom. Somebody else who says this is so valid. So general consensus here for a bunch of feminist chicks and some, of course, the weaker men who are taught and conditioned to see men as evil. All things masculine is evil. You're only not bad as a man when you act like a woman. And you have to choose. You have to decide that I will not act like a female. I am a man. I am a man, and you have to be proud of being a man. So you guys may have thought I was being extreme by videos that say things like why I hate men. This right here, why I hate men, and just being accepted is more common than the other way around. I never see videos, especially on TikTok, of a man saying why I hate women. Somebody please make this make sense.
Put a finger down if you was friends with somebody who was your best friend.
So she goes into talking about why she hates men and it's some guy who she thought things were going to work out with, but they never happened. And of course, people in the comment section over here just, congratulating, think it's funny, so on and so forth.
For years.
Young men see this on a daily basis. Men view this type of content on a daily basis, and they know how you view them. And the words you use to describe the men you deal with and the men around you and how you view men in general does matter. And no, men are not going to sit down and just let you talk shit about them overall as a gender without serving back some coffee. As always, guys, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my soon-to-be engaged or soon-to-be married men, head over to fathershaverights.com. Get the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. We're talking about asset protection here, guys. You get it for free with offer code REVIEW. And consider joining Brew Brothers. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.